Hello, my name is Isis Armilevy Vazquez Alegria. I'm a student of the Master's Program in English Language Teaching at the Faculty of Languages, and my research project is called NESTs and NNESTs Linguistic Features Impact on the Mexican Context. My research supervisor is Dr. Elizabeth Flores Salgado. The content that will be addressed during this talk is, first of all, an introduction with an overview, rationale, purpose, and research questions about the study, the theoretical background with the literature relevant to the study, the methodology with methodological orientation, context, participants, and data collection. Finally, some expected results of this project that I'm currently developing. First of all, an introduction. And English possesses a prime status globally. This is mainly due to the fact that it has become the most widely spoken language worldwide. The reason for this is due to two main factors. First of all, the expansion of the British colonization, and the second factor is the economic and political power of the United States globally. Almost 3/4 of all English native speakers in the world come from the United States. However, of all speakers worldwide, it is actually non-native speakers who account for the majority. Now, despite the fact that most English teachers worldwide are non-native speakers of the language, the issue of nativeness is still an object of concern among many scholars, teachers, learners, and coordinators in the field of ELT. About this issue, the International Association of Teachers of English to Students of Other Languages, TESOL, in 2006, expressed its position towards this issue and stated that the fallacy of the native speaker of the preferred language teacher has led non-native speaker teachers to find themselves often discriminated against in hiring practices or in working assignments in the field of ESL or EFL teaching. Thus, the significance of the current study is to have an understanding of how non-native speaker teachers are perceived in the defined context and to raise awareness on the need of reevaluating current beliefs and practices in the field of ELT. The purpose of the study is to explore and contrast the impact of native English speaker teachers and non-native speaker teachers' linguistic and sociocultural features on Mexican learners, teachers, and coordinators. To fulfill this aim, the research questions that I came up with are: what perceptions do teachers, learners, and coordinators within the defined research context report about non-native speaker teachers and native speaker teachers' grammar? The second one, what perceptions do teachers, learners, and coordinators within the defined research context report about non-native and native speaker teachers' pronunciation? Finally, what perceptions do teachers, learners, and coordinators within the defined research context report about non-native and native speakers teachers' sociocultural features? The theoretical background of the research is the following. First of all, the concept of English as an international language. The goal of English as an international language in terms of pedagogy is that we should aim for global or international communication rather than communication with native speakers. This sounds logical since the majority of the speakers of the language are not native speakers. Also, speakers of English as an international language are not considered foreign but international speakers who belong to an international community where all members have the right to express their first language identity in English, by means of their accent, as long as they do not compromise international intelligibility. The concept of English as a lingua franca is considered as a contact language that not only includes speakers with a different L1 to English, but also those who actually speak English as a mother tongue and who belong to the inner circle countries. These inner circle countries are UK or the US, for example. These people not only participate in speaking English as a lingua franca, but in fact, that they come from inner circle countries add to the variability of English as a lingua franca. The role of English in Mexico. It is known that the economies of Mexico and the United States are socially, culturally, and historically intertwined. And there is a belief among the population that learning English is mandatory as long as the person wants, or if the person wants to aspire to a better social and economical life. In Mexico, English is learned in the public sector from secondary school, and in the private sector from elementary or kindergarten. However, these two different starting points has caused, and many other factors, but mainly this, has caused that there is a gap between the proficiency of those learners who come from private and public institutions. In order to reduce or narrow this gap, the Education Ministry has implemented programs such as PENIEP, etc., to reduce the gap. However, there has been low success rates in the implementation of these programs. The next topic is the dichotomy of native and non-native speakers. And from the perspective of English as a lingua franca and English as an international language, English belongs to everybody who speaks it. Thus, the origins of the teachers are not relevant in their professional career. Nonetheless, the field of English language teaching, ELT, worldwide still classifies teachers' competence within the dichotomy of native and non-native speakerism. Let's define what is a native English speaker. A native English speaker is that person who was born in an English-speaking country and has spoken the language since early childhood. Moreover, these people are particularly considered as native speakers if they come from the inner circle countries. Native English speaker teachers are considered by some as the ideal language teacher, and their main advantage comes from their superior command of the language. And it is also based mainly on the importance that is given to oral production in the target language. However, research has provided no evidence of this. On the other hand, non-native speakers are those people who learn the language as a second or foreign language. Now, as teachers, non-native speakers are constantly questioned and often discriminated against due to their origins. However, and this is important because research has indeed provided evidence that being a non-native English speaker teacher can bring tremendous advantages to learners, since they have been through the process of learning the language and have become aware of the tricks and pitfalls that learners might fall into. Therefore, their experience as a learner might add a lot to their performance as teachers. The methodology of the research project is the following. First, the methodological orientation. I'm going to be using mixed methods, qualitative and quantitative data. The context is going to be the Faculty of Languages at UAP. The participants are Mexican from Puebla, English learners, non-native speaker teachers, and coordinators in charge of hiring practices. And the data sources are two. First of all, online questionnaires that will be applied to participants, and exploratory interviews via Zoom that will follow up on questionnaires. Now, the expected results. I am still developing this project, so I can only guess what I might encounter. And the study's expected outcomes might provide a better understanding of how non-native speaker teachers are perceived in the defined context compared to native speakers. Another thing is that it might raise awareness on the need of reevaluating beliefs and practices in the field of English language teaching, give a richer understanding of what influences perceptions towards non-native speaker teachers, and how being an NEST or a non-native speaker teacher might impact teaching practice. And it may also establish the grounds for further research in the field. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, I will be glad to answer them. And these are some of the references that I have so far. Thank you.